Welcome to Faith, Culture, and Society. This is Series 3, Session 2, and we're looking at America's presidents. The third president, Thomas Jefferson, is the one we're going to be looking at today. He was born in 1743 in Virginia. He lived in Virginia his whole life, dying in 1826. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are some of the greatest words ever penned. Probably, you could make the argument, the greatest words ever penned by an American. And this was Jefferson. He was chosen at age 33 to write the first draft of the Declaration of Independence. It was 1776. He was 33 years old. A committee of 5 men were appointed. They were Ben Franklin from Pennsylvania, John Adams from Massachusetts, Livingston from New York, Sherman from Connecticut, and Thomas Jefferson from Virginia. 5 different colonies, now becoming states. They were appointed to write this famous document. They gave the task to Jefferson. He was the best writer. He was known for his ability to put words together. He had written some beautiful works previous, and Virginia was also the biggest of the states. It had the most population. So the 5 decided Jefferson should write that first draft. And this gives us the philosophy, the reason why America is declaring its independence. It gives the philosophy of government for a new nation, that we're going to be based on rights of men. We're going to be based, our government will be based on self-government, that every person can self-govern, and that our national government should be small. It should not be overwhelming. It should not be like a tyrant over the people. So the Americans have had a tyrant, George III of England, and they are declaring that tyrant unfit to be the ruler of a free people. That's what the Declaration does. So Jefferson is best known for this writing, but he was also governor of Virginia. He also served as ambassador to France. He was vice president when John Adams was the second president. And then, of course, he's the third president. Often, he's referred to as the author of our independence. Now, the Declaration itself, and I'm going to put up 1776, and this is the Declaration of Independence. I'm going to just abbreviate it here. The Declaration 1776. This declaration mentions God 4 times. It says Creator. It says Supreme Judge. It says Divine Providence. And it also mentions nature's God. 3 of those references were added by the committee. Jefferson only had 1 mention of God in the document, but the committee added 3 more. You know, Jefferson is the great example of a man who was not a strong Christian, an Orthodox Christian, but God used him in an amazing way in the 1800s. He was not hostile to Christianity. He admired Christianity. In fact, he believed in God. He believed that God was one. He believed in a monotheistic God. But he did not accept Jesus as divine. He didn't see where Jesus was God, and therefore he didn't ever come to know Christ. He was not an Orthodox Christian. He said of Jesus this, he said his system of morality was the benevolent and sublime, probably, that has ever been taught, and more perfect than the ancient philosophers. He continues, Jesus was the most innocent, the most benevolent, the most eloquent, and sublime character that ever has been exhibited to man. Dr. Benjamin Rush helped to persuade Jefferson that Christianity was a bulwark on which Republican government could rest. This probably contributed to Jefferson's increasing approval of the Christian faith through his life. Shortly after becoming president, he said, quote, "The Christian religion, when divested of the rags in which the clergy have enveloped it, is a religion of all others most friendly to liberty, science, and the freest expressions of the human mind." So you see some of his high regard. Jefferson had great regard, great respect of the Christian faith. In fact, at the University of Virginia, which he founded that college. It was the first public university in the United States. He founded that school, and he required chapel every week for all the students to attend. And the speaker every week rotated from different pastors who lived nearby. Jefferson, while president, attended services in the U.S. Capitol. The U.S. Capitol building was holding services every Sunday. He also supported funds for building a church and for Moravian missionaries to civilize the Indians and promote Christianity. He signed an extension of that act 3 times as president. So he was not hostile to Christianity. He's actually giving funds for church building. And he promoted Christianity to help bring civilization to the Indian tribes in the West. Now, as a reader, he loved learning. He's probably the most intelligent president we had. I don't know that for sure, but that's my estimation. He's a very, very intelligent president. He was also very conservative. He stuck to the express duties of the president in the Constitution. He was for small government. He urged that states had rights and were strong entities, and that the national government should be smaller and weaker, and the state government should be bigger and stronger. That's a very conservative position. This put him at odds with many people who wanted a very strong national government. The Federalists. I'm going to put the Federalists up here. So a Federalist was one who wanted a stronger national government and weaker state governments. George Washington was a Federalist. John Adams, the second president, was also a Federalist. But Jefferson started a new party, basically. He said, no, I don't want to go in this direction. I want the national government weaker. And Jefferson took a position as an anti-Federalist. So Jefferson was anti-Federalist. He started a new party, the Republican Party, or the Democratic Republicans, as it was known back then. So great concern for individual rights. Now Jefferson supported the French Revolution. And the French Revolution was very dangerous, very radical, out of control. Anarchy. He supported that. But he, although it was bloody, he believed it was good because it toppled a monarch. He was not for kings. So as president, one thing that we're going to end on today, he was very far-sighted. In 1800, when he was elected, the United States extended westward to the Mississippi River. But he saw the key to American security and prosperity was to control the Mississippi River, and especially New Orleans at the mouth of the Mississippi. So Napoleon Bonaparte, the French emperor, he's the one who took control of France through all the anarchy. Napoleon took control. Napoleon wanted to sell all of the land west of the Mississippi to the United States. He called it Louisiana. And Jefferson agreed. He saw an opportunity, and he jumped at that opportunity and bought this huge amount of land for the United States. As it ended up, after he sent Lewis and Clark, the great expedition, to explore that whole area, he sent them, and when they returned, which was a very, very successful expedition, they found out that with all the land the United States purchased, it worked out to 3 cents an acre. One of the greatest bargains in American history. So Thomas Jefferson, very far-sighted. He wanted smaller government, but he also, when he saw opportunities, he stepped in and tried to expand America, to stabilize and give security to the new nation. Thank you for listening, and I urge you to enjoy your study of American history.